Good morning. I'm Scott Thompson. I'm at my favorite place in the world. This is Bello Beach on the island of Oahu. And I wanted to make a few videos. And this morning I'm going to focus on the subconscious. Many of our problems that we experience, which is depression, anxiety, ADHD, even bipolar, where we look at things, we being Americans, Western, we see things differently than our brothers in the East. And for us to get past some of our mental health issues in life, I'm hoping that you'll understand that the things that you're experiencing inside that you may think is anger, depression, anxiety, this is really a problem with your subconscious. This is not a conscious game. You cannot think these things away. You can't just read a book and things will work out. You can't take a pill and resolve all of our issues. What you can do is look into it. And if you want to learn and you want to understand these things, you may realize that these compulsive thoughts that you're having, the anxiety, the times that you can't sleep, all of these things are a problem with your subconscious. So what I want to do is explain these things so you understand how strong the subconscious is. Now, the subconscious is probably 95%, they say, of who we are. It's kind of scary, but in learning about these things, you might be able to work through this and make some significant changes and really achieve some joy in your life. So the first thing is to realize the subconscious is something that is natural with us. It's a beautiful part of us. It's a part of you that heals. When you cut yourself, you don't think about healing. This is your subconscious. It regulates your blood pressure, it regulates your heart rate, temperature, everything. Okay. Now this subconscious is connected with our ego. And this is kind of a self-defense mechanism that human beings have. And I believe it's gone a little haywire. We're perceiving things that are not there, and we're reacting. And that's really the problem. And if we just kind of realize that we have to see things with our own eyes, that we could kind of get through this. But in a way, our struggles is that we're seeing things through our old eyes. Okay? So to get you there, this is not a conscious game. This is for you to understand. This is about education, for you to learn and understand and develop a really firm foundation about what's going on in you. And once you have this good foundation, this is where the work starts, is that it starts with communicating with your subconscious, reteaching it. And our subconscious doesn't have eyes, you're the eyes. Doesn't have ears, you're the ears. So you have to tell yourself and communicate with your subconscious what's going on. Repetition is how we communicate with our subconscious. Emotion is how we communicate. So a lot of us may have fluctuating thoughts and emotions, and we may not have a firm foundation. We weren't taught this, and this is something that a human being does not have the capacity to figure out. We have to get information. We have to understand these things. We have to understand emotions. We have to understand a lot of things. But to talk about the subconscious so that you know it's there, I'll give you an example of how strong the subconscious is, and it happens to everybody, is when you're driving down the street and you are in your head and you miss your turn. You are driving your car subconsciously. This is how it works. There is times we get triggered and we become the subconscious. There's times that we're driving a car and we're daydreaming or thinking about our problems. We're driving the car subconsciously. And if you think about it, it's scary. We really need our eyes and our ears and our attention when we're driving. We definitely need our eyes and ears and our heart and everything in relationships, that we cannot go through life on autopilot. We have to take ourselves off autopilot and really use our own eyes. So right now, it's kind of a process of understanding that we have this autopilot that keeps getting triggered. And many of us feel like we're frustrated, we're angry at ourselves because our minds won't turn off. You know, we want this to happen. Our minds keep showing us all these problems that we're trying to really ignore, trying to get through the day. But if you take an approach to go into these thoughts, go into these triggers, go into the fear, it's going to teach you something. Okay, and this is what every single human being, we all have trauma. We live in utopia. You know, everything is safe. We have running water, we have policemen. It's pretty safe right now. We should be very fortunate for that. The reality is, inside we may feel that we have to be on guard, that there is psychological or social endeavors for us to worry about, things to get, and our minds will occupy us. So to get through this stuff, it takes education. This video really hopefully is to open your eyes to realize that you are 95% subconscious, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. And the habits and the compulsions that you're dealing with will not change unless you do something about it. So if you want to do something about it, my suggestion is learn, educate yourself. It doesn't take one book. It takes you to be scholarly, for you to look into these things. There is an answer. And these symptoms that we go through, whether it's depression or anxiety, ADHD, are all elements to help you find out who you truly are. That's a beautiful thing about this, is if you go down this path, you will have the ability to use your pain, use your struggles as a contrast against this thing called the higher self. And I'm gonna make a video about that. This contrast helps us understand who we are. It's the black against the white. It's the contrast is needed in art. It's needed inside for us to evaluate and figure out what's really going on. So hope you have a great day and take care. Aloha.